Alrighty, here we are again. Thank you for being out here in the quilting studio, my favorite place with my favorite people. I am down to the very last row of Julie's Crown Royal quilt right here. Again, 102 inches square, so she's a big girl. She went clear to the end of the backing that she provided for me. Yes, it's 108 backing, but I need a few inches for the top to connect to my red snappers and a little bit at the bottom to connect to the red snappers. There is a little bit of a, let me move this out of the way, a little bit of a leader right here that I'm using to connect into the red snapper so that I can go clear to the end of her fabric. And I am literally going to the very end of her fabric right here. You can see kind of a shadow of her selvage. In fact, let's pull this up just a tad. And you can see I'm literally going to the edge of the selvage. Once she cuts that off, she's going to be fine. It's all gonna fit inside of the backing, but I'm just saying I'm using every bit of it. So when I get a quilt that's 102 inches, I need at least those 108 inches. And it's so much better if you put some wings on the bottom of it so that I have something to be able to grab to. The other thing I want to show you is that she finished her quilt with a mitered corner all the way around. My friends, any quilt will be elevated a couple of different levels by putting a mitered corner. It's not that challenging. It takes a little more effort, it takes a little more skill, it takes a little more patience, and it takes a little more fabric. It really does. If you think about it, a traditional border will come down like this, so you've got a certain amount of fabric on this side, but this one just ends right here. You're going to need an extra amount of fabric in order to be able to make the difference right here. Every year at the quilting studio, I teach a free clinic on how to create beautiful mitered corners. We're happy to give you some tips if you're interested in that for sure. I'm telling you, any quilt that you have, a baby quilt or a large king size quilt, or just a straight quilt with just a straight border like this, or something with a border that has a continuous design, it'll always look better and more elevated if you do that mitered corner. So let's look into it. Questions, thoughts, be happy to share that with you. In the meantime, she's going to finish up the very last row of the quilt right here. She's going to be ready to be taken off of the quilt machine and given back to Julie. She will end up doing the trimming on it. You know, I trim quilts over here at the quilting studio, and I always suggest you consider having me trim your quilt. There are so many reasons for that to happen. One is you never get a chance to make a first impression past that very first time. So when you see it the first time with all of this extra batting and such trimmed off of it, you will be so happy and so amazed. Secondly, another great reason is it's ready to be bound as soon as you get it home. Speaking of bindings, I also do bindings at the quilting studio, so catch me up on that and let's have a discussion. Have a beautiful day, because I know I will.